obviously the biggest windfall so far has been the charity sector, because they're very quick to spot that actually with a QR code you can get money from me straight to the charity's bank account in 15 seconds, and genuinely at incredibly low cost, because it's technology at scale. And I think that's the thing that we haven't quite, I guess, cut through on the retail sector yet. And we were talking about this before, weren't we? That I'll give you an example. There's some great innovations in the retail sector. I just can't quite understand why they haven't taken the open banking step. Like Shell and BP apps. I don't do queuing, I don't do waiting, none of that. So obviously, as soon as those apps are available, and okay, we haven't driven for a little while, but when we were all out and about, you pull up, you scan the code at the pump, you've got your card, that you're linked. You could equally have had your open banking payment account linked, but actually you've got your card linked. But the real bit that's amazing is you put you pre-approve, £99. You then fill your car up with £60 worth of fuel. And actually, for the consumer, for me, £99 disappears to, I don't know where, it's not to Shell, that's for sure, disappears somewhere for a few days. And then actually I get a refund bit of, for the difference of what I didn't use at some point, in that 3 or 4 days. And I often think to myself, how reliable is that? And how trusting is the consumer of the retail world that all works? But how clunky is it? How terrible is that? Whereas I think I could have just said, yes, I pre-approved £99, I fill my car up, 60 quid goes in, and 60 quid's what goes straight through to Shell, like there and then, instantly. I don't get it. Why aren't all the retailers doing it?
I think most retailers do want invisible payments, right? The ability to almost feel like your shopping experience has been shoplifting, where you walk out with the goods without having to have too much interaction, without having to queue. Sam, we were talking about this on the pre-call, weren't we? I think that's something that's really, really powerful, but there are some constraints. Some of that comes down to the regulations. Some of that comes down to the actual flow of funds and confirming who you say you are. But in terms of some of the other use cases, I think, where we've seen a lot of action is around money remitters. So particularly over the last year with COVID and perhaps people sending money abroad, sending home to families, international money remitters have adopted open banking, because that real-time flow of funds means they've got the liquidity to immediately pay out, rather than having to carefully manage those flows. And funnily enough, a lot of the interest we're seeing coming in now is from travel businesses, who are typically the most constrained by banks and acquirers in terms of their cash flow, where the acquirers have to protect themselves against risk of loss from chargebacks. So proving really, really strong in those verticals as well.
What's more interesting in terms of use cases is, what is coming through, what's in the pipeline, and what is getting implemented by the industry. And the thing which I would like to point out in open banking is what we are calling as variable recurring payments. So once that gets implemented by the banks and within the ecosystem, we will see a big change in terms of how payments are done to retailers and merchants, especially how merchants can seamlessly and in a friction-free manner draw out and get payments from payers and their customers. So I think that will be a big improvement in terms of the journey, and it will reduce the friction, and that will drive up volumes. I don't know if people have heard about a new concept which is coming into payments called request to pay. So that's an additional area of interest, and especially for large billers who send out bills. Somebody like British Gas, who send out few millions of gas bills at the end of every month. That's a significant improvement in their current processes and how they can leverage open banking, especially for customers who don't pay by direct debit. And I guess that's particularly relevant in the post-COVID world, where you are dealing with customers who are not always in a position to pay immediately and instantly, and you need that digital dialogue with the customers and address the requirements.